In this video, I will demonstrate power changes, and we'll look at a few different scenarios like climbing, descending, and also then flying straight and level at different airspeeds. Power changes are done by the collective control. If you're unfamiliar with the controls and the gauges, I will leave a link in the video description to a video called Cockpit Familiarization, and that is where I go into a bit more depth with regards to the controls and the gauges and what they all do. So the collective is used for doing our power changes, and raising the collective increases the pitch angle of all the blades simultaneously, and the helicopter starts to climb and it tends to yaw to the right. And lowering has the opposite effect. We use less power, the helicopter starts descending and yaws to the left. Here we can see the helicopter in a steady climb using about 23 inches of power. You can see that on the manifold pressure gauge. It is yawing to the right. And you can see that just by looking at the strings, both strings are kind of sitting towards the right. And we correct this by applying pressure on the left pedal. Here we can see the helicopter in a steady descent using only about 13 inches of power. The helicopter yaws to the left and we need to correct with right pedal, and you can actually see how much right pedal is applied just to keep the nose straight. For different air speeds we also need different power settings, and here you can see we're doing about 60 knots and we are using roughly 18 to 19 inches of power. And when we go to 80 knots, it's more like 22 inches of power that we use. These power settings that you see us using today is just an average. Each day could potentially look quite different because the amount of power that the helicopter can produce is greatly impacted by things like outside air temperature, the altitude or height we are flying at, the amount of fuel, the weight of the pilots and the students, and so on. The collective is a control that we've got to manage carefully so that we don't raise it too high and pull it almost into the red. I usually teach my students to use your left thumb either against the seat next to you or on your thigh, and just to almost lock it in place so that you can feel as the collective starts lowering or raising even by itself, which does happen quite often. You can immediately pick up on that without necessarily having to look at that manifold pressure gauge constantly. If you enjoyed watching this video, please do me a solid and subscribe to my channel, like the video. I would hugely appreciate it. I will also leave a link in the description if you wanted to get hold of me and possibly want to come fly with us here in sunny South Africa.